Hello, hello. Hope you're all doing well. And after Group B ended up not as expected at all, I believe it's time to jump into Group C and let's have a look. What can we do over here? So, by the first look, it looks like teams should probably finish the way they are right now, with maybe Godson going fifth and BIG and Movistar moving to third and fourth. However, this is the time where we don't really know what to expect from Gambit, and in current situation, they still should be on top of the group, especially with the calendar that they have. Should have been easy game against Party Astronauts. Then Movistar, it's probably gonna be a tough game. Then BIG and Godsend. With BIG changing the player, I'm not sure how they're gonna perform. But if we're talking about Movistar Riders, then they have quite decent map pool to play against Gambit, and they can bring a decent fight if Sunpay's gonna play well, if Mopa is gonna show up as well. It can be actually interesting game. So let's consider the result. So Gambit, Gambit over here. I'm still like 90% sure that Gambit's still gonna beat BIG. With the Godsend changing play in the last minute, I'm not sure they have enough practice, and against Gambit, I don't think there's any chance. And then there'll be Gambit against Liquid game, where, to be honest, I believe it's still gonna be a fight for the first place on the last day, because for some reason, this is the time where you can invest in liquid players and go most likely for for two players from liquid. If I was picking liquid players, I would go with Naf and Elijah straight away, because despite OC is a addition, quite strong addition, then I still believe more in player like Elijah and Naf on a distance. Yes, OC gonna get some good rating against like Godsend, like Party Astronaut and Movie Star, but I have no idea how he's gonna perform against the proper tier one team like Gambit, or even like the tier 1.5 team like BAG. But in general, it is worth trying to try and get him in your team. But I still believe he's a little bit overpriced, and because of that, same for Shiro, by the way. Shiro gonna have some mostly like great ratings over here in this group, but 240 plus K, it's it's not worth right now, because you have Hobbit and you have Axel that you can use instead of him for the same price, to be honest. And then you can get someone like Searson. Searson is 208K currently in the fantasy league, so that's already a great team. And then you can like get some cheaper players like Shoxy, and you even can get someone else like for decent price. So yeah, price wise, it's not gonna be worth like picking Shiro and then like getting two cheap players that most likely not gonna perform well. However, in this group, even even Inters can probably end up being like one of the greatest picks, just because he's under 190k. So with Gambit, it's all clear. They will be fighting for the first spot. Like, there's no doubt for that, unless they not gonna be fully prepared and unless they haven't played the game for a while with the current situation going on. Then on the other side, Liquid against BAG, the first game. I believe the first game gonna be a decider. Whoever wins the first game, most likely gonna end up second, maybe even first, right? Because if Gambit are not prepared for the tournament, they're still gonna go through because they're gonna beat Party Astronaut Godsend. Pretty sure even without the proper preparation. And then Movie Star Riders, yes, they had some bright moments, but they're not really a tier one team yet. They're not stable and they still can bring you some points if you have those players in, because I believe they're most likely gonna end up fourth. So there's three teams that will fight for the one, two, three spots, and then there's Movistar Rider that gonna secure the fourth spot, and that's it. It all depends on how good they're gonna keep the games against like those three teams. If the player is gonna get positive ratings, or they're just gonna get demolished. That's all that's on the line right there. So with the gambit, it's all clear, right? So most likely they're gonna go 2-0 over here. Then with BIG, I'm going 65-35 for for the gambit roster, because BIG, as I said, they just changed the player, and despite that it's an upgrade, we still don't really know what to expect. Right? They have to implement some role changes. They have to get the team together, and that's it. So most likely it's going to be 3-0. Then against Godsend, it's 99% that it's a win for Gambit, and the last game is going to be against Liquid, where anything can happen. If Liquid are prepared, I believe Liquid actually can take the first spot in this group. So these two teams should be taking top two spots, right? Then let's talk about Liquid. Against BIG, most likely win. Then they probably gonna beat Gossen even 2-0, unless they drop nuke, what's actually quite possible. But then still it's gonna be 2-1. Then Liquid against Movistar. Oh, Liquid are struggling to play against teams like Movistar. So these two teams, by the way, are quite similar with the way they approach the game. So the result probably going to be the same. I don't think they're going to lose either of these games, but most likely these teams they will pick a map against Liquid. And then Party Astronauts, well, there's nothing much to talk. That's like looking for Org from the group C. And against Gambit, as I said earlier, that's like 50-50 game. But right now I would say it's more 55 45 on the side of Liquid. With these two teams going for the first two spots, right now is time to actually consider the third position. So I'm picking between BIG and Movistar Riders. BIG have more firepower. However, Movistar they are sticking together for quite a while, and that might play well. It depends which maps BIG are going to play and which maps they've prepared. But in general, I believe it's most likely that BIG gonna still take third spot, because I don't see the reason why they're gonna drop the game against Party Astronauts. I either don't see the reason why they're gonna drop them up again, not the map, but the game against Movistar. The only reason, as I said, because they changed the player. If they haven't prepared like four maps during this time, it's gonna be tough. But in general, they should have enough firepower to outplay Movistar. So with Movistar Riders, it's still worth a gamble, right? Let's say if you're trying to go for the top three finish in just Group C, then it is worth to give a try to some of the movie star players, because most likely they're gonna perform still well, because they're the team that holds longer if we don't count Gambit. So yeah, so these are my thoughts on the ending positions. So as I said, Gambit gonna be first, Liquid second, or the other way around. Gambit second and Liquid first. Then the third position gonna be BIG. Then fourth gonna be Movistar. Fifth, Godson, and Party Astronauts gonna end up dead six. I will be surprised if they take a map against someone, but most likely they won't even get a map, unfortunately for them. So with all this said, let's jump into my team. And oh boy, I did not expect that I will be picking liquid players first. So I will explain my logic behind this. So with the current situation, Hobbit in Gambit is the only experienced player that's probably going to be like a glue, and he'll be holding the whole team together. And in crucial moments, he will be taking the responsibility. As a Gambit supporter, it hurts that I cannot pick Shiro this tournament because of the price. Despite that, most likely he's gonna have quite good rating. But with Searson for 208k, is just a no-brainer to pick him. Yes, some people might say that Searson is an onliner, but it is time for him to show up. It is time, because when if it's not now? You have easy two teams in a group. You have like one average team that's most likely going to be on your level or slightly below your level, and then you have two teams that are just stronger than you in general. So as a sniper, he's still gonna do his job, and not much to expect against the Gambit and against Liquid. But in other three games, he should be the carry. Then I'll explain logic for picking two players from Liquid. Elijah, he has to show up in this tournament because he's the star of the Liquid roster. Everything is around him, and it's a no-brainer that in this group he should be shining right now, especially for the price that he was listed right now, 203k. Elijah, for that price, please, easy. Shoxy, 108k, great deal. He's gonna bring his points in the games against like Party Astronauts, and that's it. Nothing much to ask. Then Hobbit. Hobbit is doing exceptional work in Gambit, and right now I believe he will be doing his job as well, because he will be most likely out aiming those players that he'll be facing. Same for Axel, but Axel is a little bit more expensive, and then I will have to pick another player. I was considering picking Nitro, but I still don't really have much faith in his skill after coming back to the CSGO. But if I'd pick him, I would just lock him as a leader and hope that Liquid could go 5-0 or like 4-1. So his points are balanced. But still, for Nitro, he's still 170, I think, or 171. That's a little bit too much for the player with his rating. Then Inters. Normally, I would have picked support for him, but since Gambit has such an easy group, I'll just put him through as a leader. And even if Gambit go as third, he's still gonna bring me some decent points. So let's talk about boosters. Okay. Hobbit against Party Astronauts, most of the time is just gonna be an easy breezy game. He's gonna hit those headshots. Then against Movie Star, he's probably gonna get traded a couple of times, maybe most of the time. Against BIG, he's gonna end up consistent. Especially, I believe that BIG and Gambit they're gonna play the Vertigo, right? And on Vertigo, we all know that Hobbit can do even a 4E bomb. Godsend, I don't put any booster against Godsend because there's no real need for that. Against Team Liquid, I also not gonna add any booster because it's way too risky to use any type of booster in this game. Elijah, all right, this is where my fate comes through for the Elijah, right? I believe he has to shine, so I'm using him as my primary booster carry, right? So I believe against BIG he's gonna be on the top of the scoreboard. Against Godsend, most likely he's gonna get ace. Movistar Riders, he's gonna trade a lot. Then he most likely gonna hit 30 bomb against Party Astronauts and Gambit. For some reason, I believe that there will be a choke in that game from Liquid. I'm not sure which map it's gonna be, but I believe there's still gonna be a choke. Then Surson, he's gonna save against Liquid a couple of times. Then he's gonna have the pistol round from Party Astronaut game against Gambit. Well, when they're gonna be ecoing, he's most likely gonna set up some flashbangs. Movistar, I'm not gonna do any booster, and he definitely gonna get a clutch against Godson because that's most likely gonna be a really important game for them to win to actually advance through. Shoxy against BIG, I hope Liquid wins, but if they don't, I'm still gonna end up having some points unless he goes like completely negative and crazy. Against Godsend, I gonna use him as a bottom fragger because most likely it's gonna be one of those games where Elijah and Nuff they just gonna run around and get all the frags, and because Nitro he has to build his confidence, he will also try to get some frags, and Shoxy just gonna sit at the back, just do his job, not gonna get many kills, and that's it. Against Riders, they most likely gonna play Inferno, and not sure what's gonna be like the other two maps, but he will be providing those assists like with the nade damage, with the with that damage where he'll be playing the uh, pit position, so he will get those assists from over there, and he's most likely going to be like used as an entry for like T sides, and he will be traded, so it's not really hard. No need for the booster against these guys, and against Gambit also not really needed any booster. All right, Inters. 99% time I will put him as a Kobe because he likes to use those grenades. Then against Movistar Riders, there might be a knife kill that potentially can bring some extra points. BIG, no need for any boosters, Godsend, and Liquid as well. So yeah, so these are my thoughts on Group C. And as I said earlier, this is perfect opportunity to pick some Liquid players. And let me just show you an example of another team that I was considering. So my other thought was picking Nath and Elijah together because that was a great price. Then Searson, that was my second player. then Intus, and Barton was my other player. But the reason why I cannot take this team is because Godsend, they are having a sub, and I don't really believe in subs. I'm great that FaZe won the tournament with having stand in, but in general, it's not going to be worth trying. So if you believe that Liquid have a great chance to secure top two position in this group, then these two guys are no brainer. I would like to have Aussie, but 225k for Aussie when you have Nuff and Elijah for this cheap is just a no brainer. You also can add like Hobbit over there if you want, and just like go for two cheaper players like Tizian, and then you can like also check in even Moppers you can go with, right? So even a team like that, but still, this is the time where Liquid players have really good chance to end up going on top. So this is my team. I hope you're all doing well, and remember, IGLs are underrated. Thanks.